Okay, let's take a look at lesson 3.5, solving inequalities using multiplication or division. The nice thing is that the lesson is pretty much exactly the same as solving equations with multiplication and division. You're going to do the inverse operations just like you did before. The difference, though, is this key part right here. Multiplying each side of an inequality by a negative number and reversing the direction of the inequality symbol produces an equivalent inequality. Now, that's a lot of words. All that means is when you multiply by a negative number, you're going to flip the sign. So when you multiply by a negative, you're going to change the sign from whatever it was. If it, like in this case, it's a greater than. If we would multiply by a negative, we make it a less than. So I'll write change inequality. That's the only difference. So let's take a look at a practice problem or two. Solve the following inequalities graph and check your solution. So n's being divided by 5, the inverse is to multiply both sides by 5 so that they cancel, n comes down. 35 is on my right, and because I multiplied by a positive, my inequality stays the same. And all I have to do is plot a few numbers, open circle, and it's going to be a shade right. Now it says check it also. So to check it, we can pick any number over here to the right and substitute it back in and see if it's right. I'm going to choose something easy. Let's pick 100. That's a number greater than 35. So let's say n equals 100. So my inequality now is 100 divided by 5, and I'm checking to see if it is greater than 7. 100 divided by 5 is 20. So yes, we did it right. The check is really nice because it helps make sure you did shade the right side. Same practice in letter B. I'm going to multiply both sides by -4. Those cancel, t comes down. Now here I multiplied by negative, so I'm going to have to flip my inequality. Instead of a less than or equal to, now it's a greater than or equal to. I'm going to have -33, -32, -31. It's going to be a closed circle, and I'm going to shade it to the right again. I'll check this one as well, just to practice. Anything to the right, how about 0? That would be down this way. So let's check and make t equal to 0. That's in my solution set. Is 0 divided by -4 less than greater than or equal to? We want to work off of our base here. Is 0 greater than or equal to -32? Yes, that's true. So we are correct. And we would have wanted to do that over here as well. We can work with the beginning or we can work with the end. So if I would have substituted 100 greater than 35, that's true there also. So it's going to work with either step because we produced equivalent inequalities. So this part is exactly the same as this part. They mean equivalently the same thing. Let's try 2 and the u try. These are being divided, so I want to get the variable by itself. I multiply both sides by a negative number. -8's cancel, k comes down. I'm multiplying by a negative, so my inequality sign has to flip. And -5 times -8 is +40. 39, 40, 41 is going to be a closed circle shaded to the left. I'm not going to check each of these, but it's definitely a good practice to get into whenever you're doing your homework and on tests and quizzes especially, to make sure you're doing it right and not practicing the wrong steps. All right, s divided by 3, I'm going to multiply both sides so that I do the inverse operation and get the variable by itself. 3 times 3 is 9. I multiplied by a positive, so my sign stays the same. It's going to be 8, 9, 10. Open circle, shaded to the left again. In class, we're going to go over why flipping the inequality sign changes. Why we have to change and flip the inequality sign when we multiply or divide by a negative. Right here, we're just taking it off of the properties and going with the procedures that you follow. But again, in class, we're going to talk about why that's the reason, so you don't want to miss that. Division property of inequality says the same thing the multiplication one did, only for dividing. Dividing each side of an inequality by a positive number produces an equivalent inequality, but when you divide by a negative number, you're going to have to reverse the direction of the inequality symbol. So let's try letter A here. 2x greater than negative 8. We're solving for x, so we're going to divide because these are being multiplied. My 2's cancel, x comes down. I divided by a positive number, so my inequality sign stays the same. It doesn't matter that that was a negative 8. It only matters what I divided by. X is greater than negative 4, so negative 5, negative 4, negative 3. Open circle shaded to the right. And these two I will practice with plugging in again, checking my solution. 0 would be part of my solution set, so let's let x equal 0. Substitute it into here is easiest. Is 0 greater than negative 4? Yes, we did it correctly. All right, letter B. These are being multiplied. I do the inverse, and I'm going to divide. So those cancel. S comes down. I'm dividing by a negative, so I have to change my inequality sign. Negative 3, negative 2, negative 1. It's going to be a closed circle shaded to the right. Let's just check again. Let's say S equals 0, because that's an easy number to work with. If I substitute it in there, is 0 greater than or equal to negative 2? Yes, it is, so we're good again. All right, the last two on this lesson. Multiplied, these are being multiplied, so I do the inverse. I'm going to divide. My negative 18's cancel. Y comes down. I divided by a negative number, so I'm going to flip the inequality sign. So now it's a greater than. And 18 into 72, well, we can check it out. I'm going to try 4, which is a good guess to start with, because 8 times 4 is 32, which will give me that 2. So the answer, 72 divided by negative 18, is negative 4. Negative 5, negative 4, negative 3. It's going to be an open circle shaded to the right. For these two, I'm not going to practice them for time's sake, but again, or substitute in values to check, but I would definitely recommend you do that on a quiz. Better you check it than I check it and have to mark it wrong. In letter B, the last one, these are being multiplied, so I'm going to do the inverse and divide. 3's cancel, R comes down. 21 divided by 3 is 7, and because I did not divide by a negative number, my inequality sign stays exactly the same. 6, 7, 8. It is going to be a closed circle, and I'm going to shade to the right. Okay? All right, if you need to go over those or see me for anything, you know where to find me. Bye-bye.